Hello everybody, Animation Trainer here, and today we're going to talk about Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Batman v Superman has been long awaited for 3 years. It was announced 3 years ago, and we finally got it this year in March. So, how was it? Well, I kind of have mixed feelings with it. So, first I'll talk about the things I did like. Well, for example, I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm not gonna say that he's like great as Batman, but he did a pretty good job. I also really liked Superman in this film. Like, okay, all the acting except for one person I'll talk about like when I get to the negatives did a good job in terms of acting. Yeah. Then the action does look really cool. Like the scenes where Batman is killing everyone, which okay, not killing, but like beating everyone up, although he does break that no kill code. And I do like the action scenes with Superman. And I will say that the actual Batman v Superman battle does look nice. And the Doomsday battle looks decent. I'll talk more about that in the negatives. Now with the negatives, which I have a lot of negatives to talk about. The first 2 hours is pretty much just boring. I mean, they literally had to put politics into this movie, which is ridiculous. I mean, well, it's not exactly politics, but like they're pretty much making it to where they're thinking about not. Oh yeah, and just so you know, there's a lot of spoilers I'm gonna talk about if you guys didn't read the title. Yeah, so pretty much the movie, since they want to talk about like how they don't want Superman to like fight anymore and stuff, like everything handled with that was just handled very poorly. And I mean, with Captain America Civil War, I know that they did something similar where they don't want them to be heroes that much anymore. At least there, like, there was a lot of emotions with it, like how they had to split teams and stuff, and ended up having an emotional battle with Cap and Iron Man. Here, though, we don't get any of that. Maybe if it was at the point where Superman, maybe if it was, and plus, we're supposed to care for the final battle, like, of Batman and Superman, but I didn't feel that because, well, maybe if we gotta see them, like, grow together, like, Batman and Superman, then maybe it would feel a bit more emotional, but no, we didn't get that. And yes, the battle itself, for a movie that's titled Batman v Superman, the battle was way too short, especially considering that the movie is 3 hours long. Yeah, it's 3 hours long. I mean, literally, the movie takes forever on setting everything up. Like, okay, I'll admit, the beginning was pretty good with how Batman was, how it showed the scene from Man of Steel and showing Batman and like in that situation, and yeah, I will admit that some of the opening scenes like the openings were pretty good. Although I do think it was a little unnecessary to retell Batman's backstory, which I guess can be good, but pretty much 90% of the people who are watching this movie know about like what happened to Batman. The only people who wouldn't know is if they're barely coming in this film with a recent note, or they haven't seen any Batman films or something like that. Yeah, that was a little unnecessary. Yeah. Another thing I didn't like, Lex Luthor. I will say that he, like, the actor that plays as him just doesn't do a. I could see that he's trying that he's at least trying to be Lex Luthor, but he just doesn't suit him. The actor doesn't suit Lex Luthor. It just doesn't suit him at all. I will say that he did get a little. In fact, he was a little goofy at times too. To be honest, at the point where like when he's supposed to be intimidating, I'm like, look, I'm not even intimidated by this. Plus, they don't really use Superman right in this film. Like, Superman's supposed to be like one of the strongest beings, but literally he has to do stuff just so that. I mean, once his mother got kidnapped, Batman was the one who saved her. With no problem. When really, Superman should have been able to save her with no problem. Yeah. And then the Doomsday fight. I will say that some scenes do look nice. But it does get a little bit CGI heavy. And I know I normally don't complain about CGI. Like the overuse of CGI. Like, I don't mind it in the Star Wars prequels, and I don't mind it in films like Age of Ultron. But here, it just doesn't look very good. Like, Doomsday looks ridiculous. I mean, Doomsday looks bad. Like Doomsday is a bad design in this film. Yeah. Then Wonder Woman, while I will say that she the actor her actor did a good job, and she did and she did like make some good scenes in the movie with her and Batman. I feel like they could have used her a little more in the film. Like, all she was really there for was, one, set up for the Justice League, and two, the Doomsday battle, and I guess kind of the scene where Batman was trying to take that stuff. But that's really it. She's there for like 3 scenes. I mean, for 3 appearances. So, I guess kind of she didn't really need to be in the movie. Yeah. Then, of course, the death of Superman. Maybe it would be a little bit better if it wasn't for the fact that they were literally saying, "Well, Superman's dead." No, and then in the very end, they literally show Superman's coffin right there in the very end of the credits. And maybe if they didn't actually show that they were making a Justice League movie, then maybe it would be a little better. But and be no surprise and be like, maybe Superman is dead. Nope, we don't feel that though. But this is not in fact a bad movie, and I forgot to say that some of the other like scenes do look nice. So overall, I'd have to give it a 5 out of 10. And I forgot to mention, but the first 2 hours is really boring. It's literally boring. Like, it's at the point where, are we almost at the Batman v Superman fight yet? And I noticed that I'm still like an hour away, since this movie is 3 hours long. So yeah, 5 out of 10, like I said. Not terrible, just not that good. Well, I'll see you guys next time then. So, goodbye.